What do you do when your planner isn't working for you? Do you just go out and buy a new planner? Will the latest and greatest layout fix all your problems? Or maybe it's just time to quit planning altogether. Well, I was curious, so I decided to crowdsource a little bit. If you don't know, every month I have a Zoom call with my supporters over on Patreon. And on each Patreon call, we discuss a different planner related question or topic. So for one of our calls, I decided to ask them, what should you do when your planner isn't working for you? And they came through with some really practical advice that I think we should all mull over before we go impulse buy a new planner. So let's jump right into it. I want to start off with a great quote from Takia in our group. The perfect planner is the one that supports your needs at that time. And I could not agree more. There is no perfect planner, but we can find the planner that supports us best during whatever season of life we are in. I have my notes here down in front of me, so if you see me glancing down, that's why. First off, let's talk about sometimes it's you and not the planner. Yikes. That's something that I never want to come to terms with either, but it's absolutely the truth. Carol brought up this point. Most of the time, our planner is still fine and we could still make it work for us. A lot of times when we feel like our life is off somewhere, or we feel overwhelmed, the easiest thing to do is to think that a new planner is going to solve all those problems for us. I've been there. I have felt that. A lot of times with major life changes, we feel that, like a new job, kids leaving home, a divorce, even just a kid's new school year. So sometimes they don't even have to be major life changes. Your work schedule changes. And sometimes we do need a different tool. Our planner is our tool. And sometimes changing our planner during those life changes does help us. It can just give us a fresh start or bring happiness back to our daily tasks and planning. I know a lot of times with goal planning, I feel that. If you find something that brings you joy, if you like color, if you like the feel of the book in your hand, then you'll want to work in it. It makes a difference. Sometimes we just get bored of our planner. It's not that the planner isn't working. That's why if we love planners, often I like to use, if I'm using a weekly and a daily, I like to use them from two different companies so that I don't feel bored. And I feel like, oh, I'm getting to use this planner. I love Erin Condren because of the colors and the tabs and the paper. And I'm getting to use, Passion Planner in my weekly right now. I love the organization of it, the page layout. I like having the time blocking. So it's like you can get good from both companies. So if you're using multiple planners, a lot of times it is fun to mix it up and use different companies. Also, it's fun to switch it up year to year. I know some people do like to stay in the same planner year after year. And if it's working for you, then do it. But if you're feeling planner unrest or angst, sometimes saying, you know what? I'm going to try that planner the next year. So after we try different planners for years, we can really hone in on what is important to us and then know that those are non-negotiables in our planners. Is it paperweight? Is it having color on the page? Is the size of it? Is it being coil or bound? So we can figure out what are those things that are absolutes for us that we can't use it if it's less than 80-pound paper, or we won't use a coil, we'll only use bound, or what layouts vibe with our brain and our life the best. And then sometimes though, we know what we really need and we just need a break from our planner. We need a change. So here is what Takia said. Let yourself relax about it. Planning should not induce stress. That's what I always say. It is supposed to reduce stress. So just take a deep breath. This is just a planner. It's just paper, y'all. Empty days are not wasted days. Just enjoy what you love about planning. Takia reminded us so well about that. Just enjoy it. It's a planner. Second main thing that was brought up over and over is know your purpose for each planner. So if you're someone that uses multiple planners, or if you only use one planner, you need to know your purpose, your intention for that planner, the function of that planner. What do you need that planner to do for you? This also helps when you're using multiple planners because if everything has a specific purpose, then you will know where to go to either put that information in or look for that information when you need to find it. Taylor, in a recent YouTube video, made a mind map of the purpose of each of her planners. So think through it, write it down on paper. And Jana took that a step further and said she makes a list. Before you jump the gun and go buy a new planner, make a list of what you need in your planner and what you know won't work. After we've tried many planners over the years, we generally know what won't work for us. I think that is such a smart list to make. No planner is going to meet all of your needs, but you can find what most closely aligns with your needs in this season of your life. So that list needs to be what you need on one side, how it's going to serve you, and then what you know won't work. And then you can start going down the list of planners, watching those YouTube videos and ticking things off, scratching things out. That planner has what you know won't work for you. Even going deeper than that, a lot of times, just making a list of what isn't working in the planner you have now and what needs to change about it can actually really help you to define your list too. Address those issues before you just go buy a new pretty shiny planner because we love the cover and it looks so pretty and the company does amazing marketing, because we have all felt that. And then once you figure out those problems and pain points, you're going to make an educated purchase and not an impulsive one. Another great point that Kim brought up was, have you given your planner time to prove itself? Maybe you have, but this is a good question to ask yourself. Have you really given it long enough? There's lots of different ways you can use one single vertical layout. Maybe you've only tried it in one way. Could you change something up about it? Could you draw lines here or there, make different categories for lists? You guys, if you followed me, you've seen in my planning updates and my planner stack videos how I personally plan. And I have drawn all over Mom Agenda for months, drawing my list categories at the bottom and my top 3 on the left side to just change up the layout just a little bit to make it work for myself. So give your planner time and don't be afraid to mark it up and draw all over it to kind of manipulate the layout into what you need it to be. All right, next up, step away briefly and use a notebook. This was Patricia's idea, and I really liked it. Sometimes we are feeling just so much angst about this planner, like it is not working for me. I don't know what to do with it. And she said, step away and use a notebook. Now, you will need a monthly planner, or at least use your monthly layout or your iCal. You need those main events in your life to keep track of them, but take a break, like for a week, and use a notebook just for your lists for your weekly planning. And as you're using that notebook, it might actually morph into the layout that will work for you. Not that you want to do a bullet journal and draw out all your spreads, but what I'm saying is it might actually come to fruition what layout you actually want to look for, or what's wrong with the layout you have based on how you end up making those weekly lists and those weekly plans in your notebook. So sometimes we do just need a break and we need to give ourselves a little bit of time. Other things to do during that break or trial period of a planner when you're trying to see if it will prove itself is to shop your stash. So most planner people have a stash of notebooks or planners on a shelf. So go to that shelf, try out some old planners. Look through them as to how you used those old planners. Taylor said she would often pull out an old planner off her shelf and get inspiration, even forget how she used that planner. So look for inspiration on your shelves of how you use that planner. You can try out those old planners once again, and it will really give you a lot of insight into maybe what you are looking for right now in your life. So if it doesn't bother you to have some planners sitting on a shelf, I would say even if you're not keeping them for memory keeping, it's really helpful to save old planners for that purpose, to be able to just go pull them from the shelf and try them. It can often save you from making another planner purchase. So shop your stash and use free printables or drop a mock layout. So using free printables is a really great one. A lot of companies offer free printables, you guys. I just found out in our Patreon call that Laurel Denise has some free printables of her layout. That's one I didn't even know about. So there are companies that I haven't even explored their website and found out that they have free printables. So definitely go check out the websites. If you can't find free printables on a website, just DM or email the planner company before you decide that they don't have them, and just check, do you have free printables of your layout? Maybe if they don't and enough people ask, it will be something that they create for people. Now, as in the Laurel Denise site, those layouts are not always to scale because of the size of her paper. So it's not going to give you an idea of the box size, but it will give you an idea of the layout. You can always mock up a layout and you can do it exactly to scale, because every planner company, okay, not everyone, a lot of them do have Laurel Denise has box sizes and everything on her website, which is great. For Passion Planner, they actually offer their entire planner for free, dated on their site. You could print it and have it bound yourself, and they actually offer all the different size options, at least the last time I checked. So you can print to exact size, small, medium, large, and you can try out their layout for free, dated, as long as you want. They want to offer it to free for everyone, for anyone who can't afford it. They want their planner to be made available so you can print the entire PDF for free. And then if you loved it, you could have it bound somewhere, just like at FedEx office, in a coil, and not even purchase their planner. But they have great sales too if you want to purchase their bound planner. So there is another thing you can do while you are briefly stepping away from your planner. All right, next big point was stay off social media. Oh boy, we had a lot of comments about this, that social media can really influence us during this time when we are feeling angst about a planner. I mean, we go and we see these companies posting about their planners. Everyone mentioned companies are so good at marketing. They are showing you amazing ways to use their planner, and you see it over and over and over again. It cannot help but inundate your mind. So a couple of things are, if you don't want to stay off social media altogether, is only follow those that have the same planner as you do. Taylor said that. So for instead of making her want to go get other planners, mute a lot of those accounts. You don't have to unfollow them if you don't want to. It's easy to mute people on Instagram. You can mute posts, you can mute stories individually, or you can mute both on people. So mute them and only follow those accounts. If you have a Hobonichi cousin, like Taylor said, then she's only following people who have a Hobonichi cousin. You can search for them and the hashtag for that. And that way she's getting ideas and inspiration for the planner that she's actually in. And it's making her want to stay in that planner because that is what she's seeing. I think that is such a great idea. We see so many options on social media, and it truly can give us the feeling of the fear of missing out. These companies can make us feel like that, like we are missing out on something amazing. All the launches and some companies, that sell out so quickly, they definitely have that fear of missing out factor. And so if you know you are affected by that, then unfollow or mute those accounts. It was also suggested to find 1 to 3 people that you trust in the planner world, that you really love their content. And they so nicely said me. I'm not just saying this because I'm kind of like a third party. I'm not a planner company selling something. And they're the ones that said this, not me. I really do try to give unbiased reviews. Where you hear a lot of my opinions are in my planner stack videos and my personal planning videos. But I try to give unbiased reviews because what may not work for me about a planner is actually something that someone else might love about a planner. So I just try to give you the facts and really give you all the details and describe it in detail so that you can make the best purchasing option for yourself. And they said that watching the review videos really helps them cement the idea in. They said, even if I'm watching in the first few minutes and I'm like, I don't think that planner is going to work for me, to keep watching the video helps them name all the reasons why that planner won't work for them. And it makes them feel better about their decision. Like, I know that won't work for me for these reasons. I saw it. But yet, if they go watch that planner company on Instagram, they can once again get so hyped up and inundated with their great marketing that they think for some reason that it could work for them. So go watch the YouTube videos, reviews, and not just mine. There are so many good ones out there, and really see all the details about the planner and make those lists. Like, this won't work for me because of this, this, and this. And then you just know that planner won't work for me right now in my season. All right, next up is decide on a budget or a number of planners for the year. So everyone has a different thought process on this. It depends on, if you don't want to limit yourself and you have plenty of funds, then this is your hobby, then you don't even need to listen to this section. You don't need a budget or limit yourself. But if you don't want to have an unlimited funds for planners and unlimited budget for planners, then decide on either a dollar amount or a number of planners that you will let yourself buy for that calendar year period. And maybe if you're an academic year planner, then you decide for that academic year period. And so if you're someone who likes to have a couple of planners on the shelf to pull from and try during the year, and you know those that you want to have, Then you say, I'm letting myself have these 3 planners. And then you have them and you have them guilt-free. And you don't feel any guilt about it because that's what you've said. If you say, I'm letting myself have 5 planners for the year. I think it's easier kind of to have a number than a budget because of all the different price points and sales, but deciding on that number or budget. And then if you just really feel like you need something different or a refresh, besides shopping your stash, you could buy new accessories or a new pen. Like I know just getting like a new pen that I've never tried, like this Right Tech one, was really fun, and it makes it feel like your planner is refreshed using a new pen or a new pen color. I have a lot of my favorite pens in my Amazon store, planner favorites. So just picking up a new pen color, new mild liners or stickers if that's your thing, or a new pen pouch. But I often find putting something on the page that's different makes my planner feel new and fresh. Also, watch out for the sales at the end of the planner season. So if there's really some expensive planners that you want to give a try, but you're not sure how they would work for you, definitely watch those sales. When we get into spring and when they really need to sell those dated planners, there are deep price slashes. And that is such a great time to pick those up, to be able to try out that planner layout, that planner paper, just the feel of the planner in hand. And then you can always have it on your shelf to retry again and again, even if they change their layout a teeny bit the next year. Most planners are consistently using the same paper and very close to the same layouts each year. So if you buy them on sale and have them on your shelf, instead of being tempted to buy every year at that company's launch, you can pull off that planner and you actually have it to try at a discounted price. And most of the time, my discount codes stack on top of those huge sales. So you can really get them for, amazing, mind-blowing prices. I always say if you want to be notified of the planner company sales, to sign up for their newsletters, because following them on Instagram will just make you want to buy them on the constant. But the newsletters, they always let you know about their sales, and usually you're the first person to get to know. Last but not least, let's talk about getting rid of the guilt and giving yourself a little time. Do not beat yourself up for a blank planner. We all have heard this. There are no planner police. There is absolutely no rules. I don't know why some people, maybe because a lot of planners are type A, but leave the planner blank. Draw in it, throw it in the trash at the end. If it's unused, it really doesn't matter. Well, recycle it, because this is a sunk cost. This is something Jana brought up that was so good. She said, this is a sunk cost. The money is already spent. And that is true on so many things in our life. There is no point on giving ourselves guilt about it or on thinking about it anymore. Sure, we can learn a lesson for our next purchase, but it's a sunk cost. It's done. Forcing yourself to use a planner that you aren't enjoying or that isn't working for you won't help that situation at all. There is the cost of the space it's taking up in your life. It can really be cluttering up your home or your mind. And if that's the case, it is not worth keeping that planner on the shelf. If it is making you feel guilty by sitting there, give them away. If you have someone you can give them to a friend. People mentioned a high schooler or a college student because often they are very limited on funds. So that's a great place to think of. But you could also sell them. There are so many buy-sell trade groups on Facebook. Just search for them for the planner that you have, a buy-sell trade group for that planner. And a lot of times you can have luck there selling your planners. You could leave an unused stack of planners, at church in like a mom's room and put a note, free for the taking. So be creative thinking about where you might be able to give those. But if you don't have anywhere to give them, just uncoiling them and recycling the paper is fine, you guys. You don't have to keep things just because you paid money for them. And a really good point Takia brought up on this is if you are someone who feels great guilt about having a $60 planner that you did not use for the year, then think about the cost on the front end. If you're feeling great guilt about that every year, if it's causing you anxiety, maybe you're not the person that needs to be spending $60 or plus on a luxury planner, because it's going to cause you guilt when you dispose of it. So really try to think about that on the front end. Am I going to be okay with this sitting on my shelf if I don't use it? Am I going to be okay if, most of it's blank at the end of the year and then I have to dispose of it? And she also said it might be a larger issue than planners if it's actually causing you that grade of guilt. It might just be a larger issue about spending money on yourself in general and not even about the planner. Another point that was brought up is, are you following so many people on Instagram that it's almost like that high school feeling? You're buying that planner just to be a part of that planner crowd that uses that certain expensive planner. And that's really not you. And it's not even maybe the planner that works the best for you. But you have definitely been influenced by that crowd on Instagram. And maybe you would be happier with just a $20 planner from Target. But that's not what we're being influenced to use on Instagram. So those are all really important things to think about, I think. I hope that this video has been helpful to you. So think about, sometimes it's you and not the planner. Know your purpose for each planner. Make a list before you jump the gun and go buy a new pretty planner about what you need in a planner and what you know won't work for you. Step away briefly and use a notebook. Stay off of social media or really curate your feed like we talked about. Decide on a budget or number for the year and let go of the guilt. I've been there. I've changed planners a lot this year. I just recently posted a video of all the planners I've tried this year. Maybe it will help you. That's why I post it, because I have all these planners on my shelves from reviews, so I do get to try more. And I just also posted my Q1 planner stack, which will show you what I'm in right now in my real functional planning. So if that helps you, go check out those videos. And remember what Takia said, the perfect planner is the one that supports your needs at that time in your life. I'm very grateful for the time you spend here with me, and I would love to hear down in the comments all your thoughts about this subject of what to do when a planner isn't working for you. Let me know what in this video was helpful and resonated with you, and let me know if you have other ideas, tips for us all. We can read the comments and we can get even more wonderful ideas, because I know you guys have them. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves so you can take care of others. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.